Hello, welcome to the Searchlight podcast. We are talking about the long road home. In today's episode, a long time ago, two brothers lived a simple, innocent life in a small village. The younger Robin was a strong-willed individual who frequently got into trouble, and Sam, the older, was kind and protective of him. Their hearts were bound together with trust and brotherly love, creating an unbreakable tie. One day, a terrible incident broke their calmness. Out of rage, Robin snatched money from a nearby merchant. Aware of the boys' intimate bond, the villagers placed further blame on Sam. Devastated and feeling the weight of his brother's actions, Sam confronted Robin. "Why did you do this?" Sam asked, in front of all family members, his voice trembling with hurt and disappointment. That night, Robin ran away from home in a state of defiance and shame, unwilling to accept the consequences of his actions. He left a message, pledging to return once he'd made a name for himself, but the words did little to solace Sam. Years passed, and Sam, now a young man, decided to leave the village in search of his lost brother. He traveled through deserts and forests, across mountains and rivers, asking anyone and everyone if they had seen Robin. His journey was long and arduous, marked by countless disappointments and fleeting hopes. In every town, Sam would find work to sustain himself, but his heart never wavered from his true mission. He became a blacksmith, a farmer, a fisherman, whatever was needed to keep moving forward. His nights were filled with dreams of finding Robin, holding on to the hope that they could rebuild what was broken. One evening, after years of searching, Sam arrived in a busy port city. The air was thick with the scent of salt and the sounds of distant waves crashing against the shore. He wandered through the narrow streets, his eyes scanning every face, his heart aching with the weight of his quest. As he turned a corner, he saw a familiar figure sitting alone on a bench by the waterfront. It was Robin. Though older and wearier, his face lined with the hardships of life. Sam's heart leapt in his chest, a mix of joy and sorrow overwhelming him. "Robin!" he called out, his voice breaking. Robin looked up, his eyes wide with disbelief. He stood slowly, as if unsure whether this was a dream or reality. "Sam," he whispered, tears welling in his eyes. The brothers embraced, years of separation melting away in that moment. They sat by the water, talking through the night. Robin confessed his regrets, his voice shaking with guilt. He had been lost, wandering from place to place, always haunted by the memory of his actions. "I was wrong," Robin said, his voice choked with emotion. "Forgive me, Sam." Sam took a deep breath, remembering his father's words. "If your brother sins, rebuke him, and if he repents, forgive him." Sam spoke gently, tears streaming down his cheeks. "I always love you, and I always forgive you, my brother." The next day, as they prepared to leave the city and return home together, fate dealt a cruel hand. A storm rolled in, fierce and unrelenting. As they boarded a small boat to cross the bay, the waves grew monstrous, tossing their vessel like a toy. In the chaos, Robin was thrown overboard. Sam, without a second thought, dove into the raging sea after his brother. He fought against the currents, his eyes fixed on Robin, who was struggling to stay afloat, but the sea was ruthless. Despite Sam's serious attempts, he was unable to reach Robin in time. He watched, helpless and heartbroken, as the waters engulfed his brother. Sam was dragged from the sea by rescuers, his body weak, but he cried and screamed, his heart shattered into a million pieces. Yet, as he was pulled away from the unforgiving waters, a calmness washed over him. Sam realized that he could not fight the sea, and perhaps Robin had found the peace he had sought. With this thought, he made his way back to the village, each step heavy with sorrow, but also a newfound acceptance. He returned to the village alone. His search ended in the most tragic way. The villagers, seeing the grief etched into Sam's face, mourned with him, understanding the depth of his loss. In the quiet of his home, Sam clung to the memories of his brother. He had forgiven Robin, but the pain of losing him again was a wound that would never heal. He took relief in the belief that Robin had found peace and held on to the hope that one day they would be reunited in a place where storms could no longer reach them. Forgiveness is a powerful act that can heal deep wounds and bridge the gaps created by time and distance. However, the journey towards forgiveness and reconciliation is often fraught with challenges and heartache. Even in the face of loss, the act of seeking and granting forgiveness can bring a profound sense of peace and closure, reminding us of the enduring bonds of love and family. As we wrap up this episode, always remember, if your brother sins, rebuke him, and if he repents, forgive him.